Good morning. We are going to head today from Lower Manhattan near Fulton and Broadway to Park Slope, Brooklyn, over the Brooklyn Bridge. So here we go. I'm going to start up the bike, a 2010 Royal Enfield Bullet. You can hear the thump. And here we go. Starts right up, no problem, even though it was parked on the street overnight. That's the electronic fuel injection. And it's a little quiet out. It's about 10:30 Sunday morning, so there aren't too many people out on the street, even though the financial district here has become a residential neighborhood in the last dozen years or so. It's still pretty quiet on a Sunday morning. There, the tall building there is Frank Gehry's New York by Gehry residential tower, which is the tallest, I think it's the tallest residential building in Manhattan. It's certainly the tallest in Lower Manhattan. Here we are at Beekman Street and Park Row. Straight across from us is City Hall Park. There's no right turn on red in New York City, which is why I'm sitting here, even though the coast is clear. And that is one of the traffic laws that pretty much everybody obeys. It's enforced quite vigorously, and everyone knows that. So we sit and wait until the light goes green, which it now is. And we are going to go right onto the Brooklyn Bridge. There's the municipal building right in front of us, built in, I believe, 1898. At the time, I think it was the tallest skyscraper office building. Certainly, it's one of the largest office buildings of its time. And it's still the Manhattan borough offices. Pace University on the right. And here we go onto the bridge. This bridge has been under construction, under restoration for quite some time. But to be honest, it always kind of looks like this, because everything in New York is constantly in a state of being renewed. Pull over to the right. Soon we'll be on here. Now we're on flat bridge pavement. These metal walls here are temporary barriers during the reconstruction. Normally you can see off to the side, but it's still pretty nice to look up at the tower here at the Brooklyn Bridge, built in 1875. And it's an iconic structure that people who live in New York just use it as part of our normal life. And now we're over the East River. It's Governor's Island down there to the right. And coming down on the Brooklyn side. I wonder if you can hear that wind noise. I can certainly hear it. This bridge has got a long approach on the Brooklyn side. Like, we're off the bridge now, but we're still on the bridge ramp for like another half of a mile or more, which is why it's such a long walk, because you've got 10 minutes or 15 minutes of ramp walking time on the two sides beyond the length of the bridge itself. Coming into downtown Brooklyn. We come out on Adams Street. almost no traffic in downtown Brooklyn on a Sunday morning at 10:30. There's nobody here, which is nice for me. It's a nice day though to be riding. It's almost 50 degrees, so I'm bundled up in a hoodie and an armor jacket, and very comfortable, even in the wind. I've got better gloves than I had during my last recording. These are Bear Wallow leather gloves. They were not particularly expensive, but they seem to be very well made and handmade, so I'm happy with them. We're going to ride on up to Atlantic Avenue and then go across that way to Flatbush Avenue and Park Slope. I think we'll probably ride to Gorilla Coffee, coffee shop that I like in North Park Slope, and that's where I'll stop and get a little refreshment before riding home. But if I record the ride home, that'll be a separate upload. These buildings here are mostly county court and state offices. There's the New York State Supreme Court, which oddly in New York is not the highest court. The Supreme Court is a low-level court, which can be confusing. Brooklyn Law School there on the right. Here at Adams and Girolamo Street. And off down there, just beyond the big buildings, is Brooklyn Heights, which is a mostly residential neighborhood. Very nice place to live. Overlooking the river on a bluff. One of my friends said to me yesterday that it was ridiculous for me to record and narrate rides like this, but I like doing it. It reminds me of things that are worth noting about the city when I run this commentary as I go about what would otherwise be my normal business. You forget living in New York that you're living in a very densely interesting place. You take it for granted, but if you have to describe what you're seeing, you get more of a reminder, I guess, that it is actually interesting. So here we go. On the left, that brown, ugly brown building is the Transit Authority headquarters. And here on the right, I think, is the Transit Museum down there in an old subway tunnel. But here we're coming up on Atlantic Avenue. I'm going to take the left turn. That's actually, I think that's a new bicycle shop. I don't remember that one. It's nice to know they're here. Oh, and here on the left is the county jail, right in the middle of a wealthy, desirable residential neighborhood, which is kind of surprising. The city put out a contract a couple of years back to redevelop the ground floor retail. Well, the jail remained in the middle and nobody bid, apparently, which is, I guess, not that surprising. Down here to the right is the Smith Street restaurant and nightlife district. We won't go down there, but Cobble Hill is one of the most energetic parts of Brooklyn at night. So we're going to head 4 or 5 blocks down Atlantic Avenue here. You can tell that I'm really not a speed rider, which is what happens when you hit a certain age threshold. At some point in your 40s, you stop really giving a shit about being first and get better at just enjoying the experience of being out in the world. And as a side benefit of that, you're less likely to die in a fiery car crash, which is nice. Crossing 3rd Avenue here. I used to live right down to the right 3 blocks here in Borum Hill. And there are a lot of new restaurants and retail here from when I was here. Things turn over pretty fast, especially in up-and-coming neighborhoods. So straight ahead there, that brown, rusty-looking thing is the Barclays Center Arena, which just went up last year. Here at the landmark intersection of Flatbush Avenue and Atlantic Avenue. On the left there, that tall building is the Williamsburg Savings Bank Tower, which I believe is the tallest building in Brooklyn, which was turned, or was at least until recently, if it isn't anymore, which was turned into condos about 5 years ago. People live in the clock tower, which is kind of awesome. There is the Atlantic Avenue Long Island Railroad Atlantic Terminal station for people coming into the city. This is one of the most congested places that I run through here, this like 5-way intersection with Flatbush Avenue and Atlantic Avenue, 4th Avenue all coming together. But people live with it. My sense is that all the astonishing congestion that was predicted for the Barclays Center Atlantic Yards development so far has not really materialized. It's more or less the same as always. So we're going to take a quick right here on Atlantic Avenue and then just cut over 1 block to 5th Avenue. There's the arena, straight on view. You can hear the subway train running underground. Take a right turn here on 5th Avenue. That's the Brooklyn 5th Avenue, not to be confused with the iconic Manhattan 5th Avenue, but still a nice street. And heading down into the north end of Park Slope. There's a motorcycle, Yamaha 650. This is very much a neighborhood. Most of these businesses cater to people who live right near here. Not really a destination, but I like that. I used to live, as I said, about 2 blocks down there, 1 block up, and I really liked having this relatively low-key but still nice shopping district within easy reach. It's about a 6-minute walk, and restaurants and grocery stores and so forth. My block was nothing special, although it was very safe because there was a 24-hour taxi garage operating at the other end of the block, so there were always eyes on the street, and that is a nice thing to have. And there on the left is Gorilla Coffee, where we're headed, so I'm going to pull over here and park, and thank you for riding along, and I'll see you on the next ride. We'll turn the bike off, let you experience that. You can actually see how hard it is to find neutral in this thing sometimes. Pushing the bike, there we go. Now the bike goes off.